I'll concede your point just for brevity. But
What? Brevity? We don't do that around here. It's probably
No.
Citrus, or what is it? Capital One Bowl. It used to be Citrus Bowl, right? Yeah,
oh my
Capital
God,
One.
dude, where have you been?
I just like the real name.
It hasn't been the Citrus Bowl since 2002?
What was your highlight side dish from Thanksgiving?
Oh gosh, Scotch.
This is the Buck Around, the podcast devoted to all things Wisconsin Badger football from a fan perspective. Featuring your hosts, Richard Branch and Maxwell Brusky.
And hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Buck Around. Welcome back to episode 367 of the Buck Around. I am one half of the Buck Around, Richard Branch, joined by my eager colleague, Maxwell Brusky. Max, how are you, sir?
I like it. Eager's good. It's been a while since we've talked, right?
I know, it's nice to be back together.
And the team won, dude.
They
won. They won.
Sure.
I felt like it was never going to happen again.
Well,
But they
I
won.
mean, I guess not, but that was yeah, okay. It was an interesting day. I know that's why you're
Oh.
eager. You want to know what I mean by this is needs to be a stupid talk.
I do, but if you remember last week before the game with that announcement or interview or whatever it was, and I texted you, "Ooh, this is going to be fun next time."
Yeah.
Now it's even more fun because they won.
Yeah, people have forgotten it. Well, they haven't forgotten about it. I have to admit, I loved this week's talk around. Like, this is an all-time talk around. As I said to you, John and DC, you are a national treasure. I basically was like, how do this man leaves a 2-minute voicemail, and there's very little of it that I need to, like, every piece of it I feel like I need. I recorded this in my living room.
Oh, wow.
Yesterday, or, cut it up.
Yeah.
The talk around. And so I just used my little laptop speakers to do it. And, my wife is a big fan of John and DC now. She about fell out of the couch laughing at him. So, John,
awesome.
You have a lot of fans. But yeah, no, I thought people were going to be way more ecstatic about this. But I guess I should have, when the field storming occurred, which, by the way, I'm not a field storming police person. I am not one of those people. Like, great, have fun. But I like me too. People have embraced the ironic aspect of it. Like, I think that there was a bit of irony to that field storming that I really, really enjoyed. So it came through in the voicemails. So I don't have to be quite as Prince of Darknessy as I thought I needed to be in this episode. So I'm just glad everybody's having fun. So why don't we do this? Because we are pressed on time. Hit that button. Let's hit the talk around. You and I can get into this stupid game and then all the stupid other stuff that's going on.
The prince is still there. Don't worry about that. All right. Here we go.
But the most important thing that happened yesterday was that my dumb 4-year-old bet my sister $5 because he's the only one stupid enough to think that we could have won that game. And now his college fund is $5 more. So cheers to dumb little 4-year-olds. For having more faith than any of us. It's awesome.
Travis from St. Louis.
Ryan from Seattle.
Bill from Indianapolis.
Steve from Portland.
Tez from Lake Mills.
Pancake Pete.
Luke from Nashville.
This is Tom on a train.
John DC.
Wes from Little Chute.
National championship. Well, maybe next year.
It's the team vest. He didn't wear it.
All is forgiven. Chris McIntosh is prescient. Luke Fickell is a great coach. The best ever. Is that stupid enough?
I don't want to hear the thought piece. All I want is for this team to play like they did tonight for the rest of the season. Like their hair is on fire. If they do that, we are gravy.
Carter Smith, 2027 Heisman winner. Book it.
I just thought the team played its ass off. I think it's safe to say that Fickell has not lost this locker room.
Just got back from my run. My normal Sunday route takes me straight through the University of Washington campus. I wore my Wisconsin pinny. Got a lot of go f*** yourselves on my run. It's a good day.
The main thing I think after this game is Chris McIntosh is going to be so insufferable. God, that guy sucks. It's going to be so brutal. But, I mean, I'm glad we won, obviously. But Chris McIntosh. gosh, you've ruined everything and you still suck and you still should be fired.
Rich's comparison of Danny O'Neil to a rescue cat could be more apt tonight.
Sean West having more passing yards than the Badger quarterback, and they beat a ranked team doing it. I mean, that's elite coaching right there.
Red shirts, white pants, black shoes and socks. Looks very sharp. My favorite uniform.
I was actually supposed to go up to this game this weekend. I was going to go up with my girlfriend. She broke up with me. That helped me get through this weekend.
Also, last night, Landon Locke led Longo back. Good for them for getting that W and getting to 2 wins. But we have 3, Longo. We got 3 wins, Longo. How do you like them apples, baby?
I think we at least have a chance against Minnesota. Let it be our Super Bowl this year. On Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
Yeah, on Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
On Wisconsin.
I also think it's great that we're better than Penn State. Like, we have more conference wins than Penn State right now. Like, those guys suck. Like, it must suck to eat shit and beat Penn State. Like, you, Penn State. It's awesome.
There's a lot of beeps in there, man.
You have no idea, and I missed one. If you noticed, I got to put one in.
I did. Yes, I did.
But
you're right. That was an all timer. I know Steve from Portland kind of cracked me up because it was not too long after I saw the stupid thing.
Yeah, well, I guess.
God, that's awesome.
I triggered Steve.
Is that stupid enough for you? It was. I'm telling you, man. I didn't do a 4-year-old bet, but my friend that I made you remember we were one. He knows, like, it wasn't $1,000. I never said that. Now it's up to 10,000. And I told him before the game, I'm like, but that hundo is getting close, but that hundo is slipping back towards me a little bit. all I gotta do is get to 5s, 2 more, and Max is $100 richer.
2 out of the last 3, huh?
2 out of the last 3. Indiana looked pretty vulnerable last week.
Okay, Max. You go with that. You tell yourself that.
I'm kidding about that.
So what do we want to say about this game? It's nice to see them play young players. I'll start with the real concrete things. Not just Posa, Catalano. I think it's a big deal that Heiberger is playing a lot. Like, I understand a little bit of, like, Heiberger is going to be more or less, I think, kind of like what Aaron Witt has been, but a more natural fit to what that position is. And
I think he's a little more athletic too.
Yes, that more than a little. I mean, he was really, really good. Not that he was my under the radar guy, but he was very. I think he played like 25, 30 snaps and was very effective in those snaps on Dita. Like, you'd be like, oh, this guy looks really good.
Well, he was noticeable too.
Yes.
Yeah, I kept saying, "Oh, there's Heiberger. Oh, dude, he's rocking." He was noticeable. That was cool. Especially for him. I mean, it's funny you said Witt. I mean, he's had an injury-filled career so far too. Before we move on, though, with Catalano and Posa, I mean, that was outright just incredible from the two of them. And like the numbers that they've racked up in the last two games, that's incredible.
No doubt. I mean, I think the bigger thing is I don't think they're just displacing Tackett Curtis who played 2 snaps, by the way.
Yeah, I know.
Because he's kind of like, I've got the window to go youth. They're just straight up displacing Tackett Curtis.
Well, Tackett Curtis really didn't do much.
No.
He really did not live up to the expectations.
No, he played himself off the field.
Yeah, he did. And do they think Allegro's going to be back? I mean, he hasn't been called out for the season, and I know he has he had a broken arm, but which he played through. Because I'm thinking, like, what do you do with him? Like, you can't take those 2 guys off the field.
If you want to talk about Wisconsin and injuries at this point, sure.
Yeah, sure.
That's a whole other conversation I want to have.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I think I think the ideal is not to have those guys playing. I mean, Posa played 68 snaps. Catalano played 61. I don't think they're displacing Allegro. I really don't think they're displacing Allegro. I think he's as good as those guys. The difference is, I think Allegro with one of them next to them and the 3 of them in a rotation is really more what you're going to look at. Yeah. If they can sort of cross-train it and make it work. I think that's kind of where it goes. But I think Allegro is one of those things, they haven't ruled him out for the season, thinking well, that implies no bowl game, and they're not willing to. They might rule him out if, once they lose that 7th game. Like, if they lose to Indiana.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I could see that.
It's kind of like one of those things, I think.
Speaking of Danny O'Neil, I had the same reaction when I'm watching the broadcast and he said something about a nagging Achilles injury. I'm like, oh, really now? It's kind of like Brando the week before with Dylan Jones out for the season. Like, what? I hadn't heard. And I watched the team pretty closely.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, so we have a little intelligence gathering operation. I don't know if you're aware. We do have feet on the ground.
No, we have assets.
It was reported to us that Danny O'Neil got off the bus in a walking boot. So and it wasn't like they were hiding it. It was like the Arch March thing.
Yeah.
So he was in a walking boot going into the game.
Oh my goodness.
And then it was nice to see Danny O'Neil. It was great to know you. I mean, that injury just screams, oh boy. I mean, we don't know anything yet. And he demurred on saying anything yesterday, Fickle. But, I mean, it was getting sort of ahead of the game, which is fine. I don't care if we do. They have a legitimate issue with injury management on this team at this point, between whatever happened to Billy Edwards, where I tweaked something, but I would have played through it. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was his line in fall camp, to then playing, how many snaps before he came out, and then trying to come back against Maryland, and then sort of week by week since then, until this week, they basically said, we're at a point now where we're not planning for Billy to come back.
Sure.
And you're like, what is going on? Okay. Then Danny O'Neil. Okay. I mean, clearly he came out, and seriously, like, Billy Edwards came out, should not have been playing against Maryland. Like, whoever made that decision made a mistake. Danny O'Neil has a nagging Achilles injury, which why have you been sandbagging that? Like, it wasn't like sandbagging that did anything. I guess it was, the theory was making teams watch Danny O'Neil's film, but they've already done that. Right? Like, I don't know what competitive advantage it was giving you to then putting him out there, and his foot explodes.
Yeah, I know. It looked bad. Did somebody? It wasn't you. Somebody had a picture of Kobe Bryant.
That wasn't me.
I saw. Here's one. Here's another one for you. Darian Dupree.
I have a theory on that one, which is it's the same reason that Hunter Simmons played. It ties to Carter Smith, which, by the way, having a 2 for 10 stat line for 0 yards was an amazing point in the game, to then finish 3 for 12 with, I think, what is it? Did he have 12 yards passing? I don't know. I actually have the numbers here I can look at.
I know combined O'Neil and Smith had less than the Sean West figure.
Well, Danny O'Neil was 0 for 2. Hunter Simmons completed 2 for 3 for 16 yards. Sorry, Carter Smith had 8 yards passing.
8, yeah.
And he the 8 yards came on a shovel pass.
Yeah, right.
To Jackson Aker. So okay.
He would have had that one with Lance Mason, but the interference. But did you see that throw? It was like this little rainbow, like grand prize game kind of bozo buckets thing.
Well, it was mostly because of the 12 balls he threw. I think on 6 of them, he just decides to leave his feet. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's got some work to do on his passing game. I will say this though. I will say this when if you go take it for what it's worth, but he was throwing the ball all over the yard at the spring game, and he looked like he looked maybe not like Danny O'Neil, but he didn't look like that far behind as far as the way his balls looked, and that sort of thing. It was kind of surprising to see like how little he threw, and obviously you're going to be really, really conservative with him, but by the same token, I was like, no, I've seen this dude throw the ball. He's not. I think he looks better throwing the ball than Hunter Simmons does.
Well, I think it's pretty simple. To me, it's one. They said he really has only been off scout team for 2 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, I get the game planning aspect of it for sure.
And then what I think the plan with him, honestly, and the install they did for the last week and a half was he was going to be effectively a glorified Wildcat quarterback. And that's all he really knew. That's all he really knows at this point.
Right.
And so when Danny O'Neil goes down, it's Hunter Simmons or Carter Smith. And they said, you know what? We're not going to get much through the air with Hunter Simmons anyways because the weather's crap. So might as well put the guy who's mobile in. But as soon as they did that, that playbook got real thin real quick because it's just whatever they installed with him. And that's why you saw, I mean, what felt like 537 shotgun tosses to Gideon Atuka that made, you know what I mean? Like when you kept seeing that same thing, where you're like, oh, they're kind of doing that quasi zone ready thing. Then it's a toss.
Right.
You're like, why do they keep running it? And you're like, oh, because there's only so much. So they just kept trying to make it look different and running the same thing. But it'll be curious to see. I mean, that's why I think Hunter Simmons had the quote unquote 2-minute drive was at least he knows he's had more install. So he can do more
definitely. Yeah, and I actually thought that was a pretty good move, to be honest with you. It didn't work out on account of some weird, continual mistake prone kind of dumb crap. And I'm not even going to say anything about Ituka's penalty, which I thought was so lame. But not on him necessarily. It was kind of a little bit, but like, come on, like it was how long after the Mason Reiger one that was just. The guy, like he hits the quarterback and the guy throws the flag. Like I'm like, oh great, and oh no, defensive or I forgot what it was, but it was that was a penalty on the offense. You're going to connect that to Dupree.
Well, I think Dupree was the plan with him is he's got a little bit of the 2-minute stuff in there. Atuka doesn't.
Yeah, gotcha.
And so it's just throw him in. I mean, he played 8 snaps. I think he played a couple later.
Sense.
So that's it to me. Sense. It's like all these freshmen who have effectively been, practice squad guys or borderline practice squad guys now sort of thrown in, and it's just how much can they absorb? Because that's what's going to happen next week. I think Hunter Simmons is going to be splitting time with Carter Smith to some degree because there's only so much they can put on Carter Smith's plate, especially given, I mean, there's deer in the headlights there, which is fine. That's what you expect from him. But
yeah. I will say this though too, when he came in, the crowd was pretty into it.
Well, why not?
I wasn't there, but I mean, yeah, no, I know that, but even still, there was a definite spark for what it's worth, and it was in the first half, and I still thought they played the first half was frustrating, and another block punt. How the hell do you have 3 block punts in a season?
Max, that gets into the stupid game aspect, which I think is the last thing I should mention. Like, they got really lucky. You have the block punt at the 1. I give them credit for not folding. That's if you want to point at something like concrete that's happened, as Lucas said in the talk around.
Definitely,
the team didn't quit. This team has not quit. Like they played hard. I will give them all the credit in the world for that. They played super hard. They haven't bagged it. This does not look like last year. Like this time last year, they were done. They were all going home. And the guys who aren't quitting are young. Actually, I take that back. Even guys like Daryl Peterson. I mean, he came out in the second half and played hard. You could tell you did see like a weight off their shoulders. They felt good about it. So they clearly, it's interesting to me. As much as he's pretty much everyone's ready to let go, his players definitely like him. Fickle has that. Like there was guys who are bought in. So
no doubt. Yeah,
kudos to that. But
no doubt. I mean, that's cool to see though too.
Yeah. But I mean, what I mean by this game being stupid, it's like, Washington goes on 4th and 2 and the receiver goes, I mean, like they didn't stop them on the 4th down. They, you have crap weather. You got kind of a crazy fake punt. You get a block of a field goal. Like a lot of things had to break right. There's other ones I'm forgetting. I made a list and I forgot it out in my living room. It's not that important, but that was more my point. Like this game, the post-game win expectancy was under 20%. So good for them. It's fun. I love the ironic storming of the field. It's great. It cracks me up.
Why are you saying ironic?
Because people realize that it was like this was such a dumb game, and they're gonna go 3-9 in all likelihood, and it's fun. Like go for it.
Oh, but yeah, it was. I kept saying to everybody I was talking to via text. I just kept saying it was like taking a giant dump.
Yeah,
Like, just
Okay. Yeah.
it really was, man. It was. I don't want to use the word cathartic. I heard somebody else say that, but no, but it just it felt like taking a giant dump.
Well, it was just funny and
Like I said at the
ridiculous.
beginning, I mean, it felt like they were never going to win another game, and
Yeah.
not only that, it felt like they were never going to score another touchdown. Oh, and the other one too is when they did go for it on the was it the opening drive or the second drive? Because they were inside the 5, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just like, oh my gosh. And I think one of the interesting aspects of it though is that there were a lot of things that I felt like there was a little bit more of screw it attitude to it.
Well, I think
Whatever,
there
man. Let's just
is.
what yeah, but you hadn't seen that yet.
Well,
You
I
could have done
think
that a lot in the last 4 or 5 games.
well, but I think there's a difference, which is Fickle was not, they're not playing for now anymore. I really do think that's the one thing about McIntosh
Yeah.
talking is they're not playing for now.
Yeah.
You can't really in college football be like we're tanking for the draft, so to speak. Like you can't do that in college football because you lose your team.
Right.
But you can when you can do a little bit more of like, okay, Tackett Curtis is playing 2 snaps. Okay, Thomas Heiberger is getting on this field a lot. Okay, Carter Smith is probably going to be the starter going forward, even though you can make an argument even after this game, like Hunter Simmons, it makes sense to have Hunter Simmons out there just because you can do more flexibility wise. Like you can make all those arguments. Like all those things are just turning that dial a little bit towards the future.
Yeah, which is interesting. It's like, yeah, I guess you have to take them at their word, huh? Which you're like, I don't think people are accustomed to doing.
Under the radar player of the game. Who's yours?
Matt Young.
Okay. He played, I think, almost every defensive snap.
He did, and I feel good about him. Like I feel like he's getting better and better. And like I don't feel like you missed Zachman as much as maybe I thought it was going to be. Like I feel like he's filling that in well.
He seems very serviceable. Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah. Well, and I feel like there's potential there too. I mean, he would count as kind of a young guy. I know he's in there for on account of an injury,
Mhm.
and I'm really bummed that they lost Trainer too. That's another. I mean, it's another one. Just because I would have liked to have seen him play more, but that's another injury there. But
Yep.
I feel like Matt Young is getting better as it goes on, and I think he's got a lot of potential.
I stayed on the defensive side too. But mine was an older guy.
Yeah.
Javier Suggs. He
Yeah,
really
there you
didn't show
go.
up on the stat line, but he and Ben Barton are they have
Yeah.
separated themselves. And Barton obviously had some more statistical measurements, especially notable on the punt block. So to me, I feel like you would kind of like every 10th play, you're like, oh, there's Javier Suggs like through the line again. And he was disruptive and looked really good. So good for him.
That's a great call. Yeah, that's a great call. And you could like you're watching the broadcast. They said his name a lot more than previously, I guess. But
yeah,
it was noteworthy. Yeah, for sure. That's a great call.
All right, so let's start drawing out here. There are other things I feel like other than this stupid game to talk about. Like this is the dumbest win of my life, without a doubt. I mean, this is top 5, one of the stupidest football games I've ever seen.
Well, you were going over Carter Smith's stat line, and to have that in a win,
exactly.
Like that's not even Mike Samuel. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy.
Yeah, it would be like, you know what it would be? It would be like having Mike Samuel with only Carl McCullough back there.
Yeah.
and half the offensive line injured. Like that's what it would have been.
I will say this though, just as another guy, kind of still a game thing. I know we're going out, but I think Katuka needs a shout out. And I said it here a month ago, like, why don't you ever see him? And I think he looks pretty good. I mean, I know he's, there's Jones and Dupree. I get it, but I'm surprised you didn't see him sprinkled in more, especially since he's a redshirt freshman. You don't have to worry about
Well, you know what he
receive a
did
red
that's
shirt.
notable, and Fickle mentioned it in the postgame, and it was the thing they were worried about, which I think kept him off the field. Fumbles. And he did not
Yeah.
fumble the ball on a crappy day. So let's move, since you mentioned 3 young guys, let's move to recruiting, because I have a new pet peeve of mine, which started
Okay.
showing up last week amongst the Wisconsin traditionalist sect of the Badger fan base, which was the reason the Badgers are bad is because Luke Fickell is neglecting in-state recruiting.
Yes, that has become a narrative.
It has become a narrative. And it's, he's not talking to high school coaches. He's not talking to high school coaches. They never hear from him. And this isn't good. And this is bad. And this is why the Badgers are on the way on the 3-9 glide path. It's because he's not talking to the coach in Slinger. And it's making me insane, Max. Because this one is sort of like the Nebraska national title thing, Nebraska getting away from its roots. This is, to me, it's an overcomplication of things. It's just an overcomplication of things. You have one new variable in this thing, which is NIL, which makes it a little trickier for the higher end guys, which if McIntosh is right, ties into this pretty cleanly. But this story is overcomplicated, if I can get back to my original thought before I get sidetracked there. The team isn't very good. When the team isn't very good, it's harder to get guys to go to your school. So not to belabor it, but it's very simple. And I feel like the quote from Gavin Meyer, who's one everybody is getting up in arms over, who's in this upcoming class, who's going to Minnesota. And he was interviewed by Jesse Temple before he left the Athletic when he picked Minnesota. And this quote, I think, tells the whole story. And he said, "I don't like talking bad about other schools, but I also have to keep in mind that this isn't the same Wisconsin they used to be. Like, this isn't the Barry Alvarez Wisconsin. I don't like throwing shade at anybody because Wisconsin is still a great program. But Minnesota, they've proven to be good. The past 3 out of 4 years, they've beaten Wisconsin. Wisconsin, one more losing season, and it's kind of uncertain." That was heading into this year, mind you.
Yeah.
I get Fickell is signed, but anything can happen. It's not a complicated story, right? He came in and went 7-5. He went 5-7 and missed a bowl game for the first time in a gazillion years, right? He fires his offensive coordinator. It's just going to make it harder to recruit kids. If they win games, they will recruit kids. And it doesn't matter if he's talking to the football coach of a program that's not producing Division I talent. To me, it's just not that hard. It's just, if they're not winning, it's harder to recruit. That's why part of this thing, like McIntosh coming out and saying he's coming back, I think it wasn't the primary goal of this, but like somewhere on the list was it holds together their recruiting class, or at least helps them bolster it, so the dam doesn't break, because they only got 14 guys there.
I don't disagree with anything you said. And I don't think this win necessarily changes anything. I like you said, they're playing for next year, but I was going to try and get for this program and there's a Bill King soundbite where, you're talking about holding together the recruiting class. And I mean, if you don't have the right guy, does it freaking matter? You know what I mean? If they would have lost, this is what I would have been. I would have been much more harping on this in this part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you have the right guy. Fine, break it down. Go down to the studs, which I said to my wife. It kind of felt like that with all these young dudes doing that. Like this team was down to the studs, right?
Yeah.
But but if it's not the right guy, then who cares? And I think that's exactly the point. And there was another one too. There was a pretty fairly high level Madison Memorial, and not only that, I mean, if you like the Flanagan brothers, you know what I mean. You're not going to keep those guys anyway, or Billy Schrouth, or some of that stuff is just like that.
Yeah,
you remember Ben Bredesen with that whole thing?
Mm-hmm.
You like to see more Cooper Catalanos, but there's only so many of them.
The 2 other things to touch on, one we just kind of alluded to, but the McIntosh press rollout this past week.
Just rolling my eyes. This is weird.
Well, it was just kind of interesting to me. There's only one word you need to take from it. If you wanted a keyword, like they do the word cloud, there's only one word. I don't even know if he said it the most, but it should be the word that should be screaming in your face.
The biggest one in the word cloud.
Investment. If you listen to it's investment, and that's code for I'm going to ask you for money.
Yep.
That's all it means. So this was to do one thing, which is to lay the groundwork to ask you for money and to tell you to stop asking when they're going to fire Luke Fickell. And this win sort of helped him out. But that's
really
what's
did.
coming.
Yeah. Yeah, but I go back to the point you made last time we talked.
Yeah.
Obviously, Big Ted is still all in on this current regime, and his checks are the ones that matter, unless there's somebody else out there that's gonna stroke checks like that. And if there was somebody else out there that would write checks like that, we'd know about it by now.
Yes, and they're all in. So that's it.
So there you go.
And as long as they're going to write real checks, if they got to get cool with that. That's all that matters. If they get cool with that, it changes everything.
And you can see how the rest of the season plays out. And like you said, they're playing for next year. But if you start winning games and you start playing sound football and stop having 3 punt blocks in a season, then everything changes anyway. But I don't know. I still go back to the Bill King quote. It doesn't matter if the guy's not right. It's not the right guy. So the jury is absolutely still out on that as far as the fan base is concerned. And as far as this fan analyst is concerned, the jury is still out on that.
I do think part of it is he needs, if he wants to fire Fickell, he also needs to demonstrate at this point that they can get the NIL train moving.
Mm-hmm.
Because I do think the well is a little poisoned that way. That is the word on the streets, so to speak.
Yeah,
that Wisconsin, like, why would you go there unless you know you're going into a disadvantageous situation?
Mm-hmm.
So I do think you need to show proof of concept. So even if this guy isn't the right guy and you fire Fickell in a year, at least you've built the infrastructure to make this thing work.
Right.
So, and then the last one to touch on for me, I'm just going to do it very quickly. I will do a very high level, simple thing because this part of following college football is boring, but it's the Big Ten selling a 10% stake of itself into, well, I think it's the California Teachers Pension Fund or some kind of private equity thing.
That's the California State Pension Fund.
State Pension Fund.
I mean, and it is. And the California State Pension Fund is the largest.
Yeah, so it's a big pension
one of the
fund.
largest institutional investors out there. Yeah.
So the whole idea was they would get a 10% stake in the Big Ten in exchange for a big lump sum of money. Who cares? I'm not even going to touch that. I'm not even going to touch the ghoulishness. Leave that. But the big issue with it is that there is an uneven distribution of money involved. That's where I think is the real red flag and the real bad sign here. And it's the 3 traditional blue bloods, and I would argue the third one is not quite there, but Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State would get like just under $200 million. Then USC and Oregon would get 140, and then the rest of the teams, which includes Wisconsin, would get like 100. And the problem with this is you start everything the Big Ten has done to this point, and if I'm wrong, someone can correct me, but it has been sort of the NFL model, which is what people really need to think about. Like, to use for our audience, the Green Bay Packers don't exist unless 50 years ago or 70 years ago when they started doing these media rights deals in the NFL, those owners had the foresight, and these are the greediest human beings on earth. There are no greedier human beings on earth than NFL owners, but even they saw this, was like, you know what? Rising tide raises all ships. Like, if we have a strong national league, it's going to make us all richer.
Yeah.
Like, they had the foresight to see that. And like the Big Ten is not doing that.
Greedy doesn't mean you're not smart either.
Yes. But so my whole thing here is like, if they lose track of this, and it's ironic to me that Wisconsin is behind this, and I understand why. It's just because it extends the grant of rights to 2046. Like, that's part of this agreement, so that teams can't jump ship and form their own super league. But I got a tough time with it because it creates that situation where you're going to slowly get to, and I know it's uneven resources now, but as you move to a super league, you can't move to a super league and have teams that are just there to get throttled, because you're not going to keep those people around. Like, I just have a hard time with it. If they're gonna,
it's true.
If you're gonna take like just right now, effectively the teams that have the advantage have it because they built it up, right? Like it's internal. You have an alumni base, you have a donor base. All those things are what give those teams an advantage. You have a geographical advantage because of the recruiting area you're in. I mean, that's why 99% of these teams are blue bloods that are blue bloods. But if you then just add this one more thing, it just makes it really rough to watch when you've seen the delta between elite teams and the second tier, space as it has in the last 15 years. It's just going to accelerate it. And I think it's just going to kill. Like, it's going to make it really hard. It's another one of these things. It's like, which is the one that, which is the cut that's the death of which is the 1,000th cut, basically.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
straw that breaks the camel's back.
Yep.
Yeah.
All those.
I know. And all I could say when you had this on there, and I feel like, well, I don't want to talk about that.
It's so boring, right?
No, not because it's boring. It just makes me feel ill.
Well, that, and it's also like I don't want to have to care about this. I just want to watch football.
Well, and all you can say is like, what a world. Because and when you look at that whole thing, like to the point you made before about the NFL owners, it's completely and totally rational.
Yeah.
Right?
I know.
Yeah.
Like you have a monopoly on what is basically becoming NFL Saturday.
Yeah.
And you're doing everything you can to make it unfun.
I know. I hate to say it, but it's like I tell my kids, there's more to life than money. But in college football, is there? I don't know.
Yeah, apparently not.
It's awful. That's why I said I saw that and I'm like, I don't want to talk about that.
So yeah, that was my downer. Not to end it on a downer. Enjoy the ridiculous game week. Relish in the victory. I think they're going to get throttled by Indiana. Like I think Indiana's going to come into that game angry. Like Cignetti's going to have the scowl before the game even starts.
100%. He's going to be like that on account of just last week, but I think he's going to want to pay them back for 83 points in 2010.
I don't think he cares.
Oh no. It's not Cignetti, but he'll take care of the fans is my point. Yeah. And they have the team that can do it.
I guess.
Did you watch them play Illinois?
Yes.
Like it is just, and Illinois doesn't suck. I mean, that is just, it was one 40-yard play after another. So I don't know.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm not calling for a win, but just remember, bowl eligibility is still alive.
Still on the table, and somebody's doing chest compressions.
Hell yeah.
Waiting for the paddles and yeah. So let's hope the paddles get there and they don't electrocute themselves. And yeah, by the way, I just realized, I didn't even mention it. RIP to my ability to reference my cat. I did think it's notable, and this will be my closing thought for the show. When I was cutting up the talk around and I got to that one about rescue cats and Danny O'Neill, that my rescue cat spotted a cave cricket and ate it. Like that's what he does. Like he's like a living sewer rat. You know what cave crickets are? They're the most disgusting thing on earth.
I do not, but when I picked up our bar in New Jersey, they were telling me about spider crickets.
That's the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm. They're disgusting. And they're like shiny and brown.
And we don't have those in the Midwest.
You know what? We get them in the Northeast when the leaves come down because they lay eggs under leaves and then they come in your house and die. But they're gross and they're blind and they jump all over. Like they jump on your face in your sleep. It's disgusting.
That's what this dude said. He's like, that's
it's
exactly
so
what
gross.
These things like jump like crazy.
Because they can't see. And my cat, because he's a disgusting sewer rat, rescue cat, eats them. And I'm like, you are the best cat. Because my wife and I were sitting there, I'm cutting up the voicemail. She's watching the football game last night because she wants to win her fantasy thing. And all of a sudden, my cat leaps across the room as I'm listening to the talk around message about rescue cats. Boom. Eats that thing up, legs and all, like all the bony, spindly legs. It's so gross. People who have cave crickets know exactly what I'm talking about right now. And it's disgusting. So that'll be the last story about my cat probably on this podcast. So.
All right. That's a good one. It'd go out with a bang or a crunch rather.
You know what's nice about editing our own shows? We can say whatever the hell we want and just put it at any point in the show and people have to listen to it.
true. That's true. That's true.
Nobody
That's true.
cares about narrative structure here.
We don't get paid for this, so
Yeah.
no.
All right, let's get on with our day. I think we've
Sounds
done
good.
it. All right, Max.
All right.
It was good to
All
be
right.
back together. Until
It
the next
is.
time.
Until the next time, indeed.
All right, bye-bye, everybody.
Enjoy the conversation? Head on over to buckaroundpodcast.com to find all the ways to connect with the show, links to our Patreon page, and feeds for every major podcasting platform. We want to thank each and every one of our patrons. You make this podcast possible. This has been The Buck Around, Badger football analysis from a fan perspective.